Alright, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. Unto the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. Quick show to the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua. I'm watching this show. Since everybody was talking about it, so we might as well watch it. So as I'm watching it, the first thing that you get in your mind is a dystopia situation where pretty much the very elites rule the world and they have nothing else to do, which is proven to be that to that point so far. Only saw a couple of episodes, but the main thing I really got me thinking of this thing is slavery, really. And what I mean by that is the fact that when you have the very rich, because it's not a spoiler alert, but this show's basic is upon the people that's in heavy in debt. All right, and the people that look for these random people that's in heavy in debt know that they have no other choice but to play this particular game to get out of their debt. And like the scripture says, matter of fact, scriptures don't lie, man. The scriptures don't lie. Proverbs 22 and I believe 7. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower servant to the lender. So the rich rule over the masses of the people. That's why you have today's environment. You have pretty much the systematically of the destruction of the middle class. Like the middle class is no longer in existence. And I was watching something else too. The Hill. Yeah, brothers. Sometimes it has some good stuff with Kim Iverson, I think her name is. She bring out some valid points. And one of the valid points that she had pretty much was that the Democrats, which is in rulership now, have the tendencies, especially for the past, when Obama was in office, wiping out the middle class. Because they just want two classes of people, the very rich and the very poor. And she was basically saying that the middle class don't want no handout. They just want their life back. But the way things are going, it doesn't really matter what the hell anybody wants. Is what they're doing. Biden giving the I believe it was OSHA to pass a law. Any corporation or company that has people don't got the juice, they'll pay $14,000 per person. So this is literally systematic, and then you have people that's quitting, all right, quitting their jobs because they're leaving them no other choice. Here in New York, you have a mayor, that piece of shit, saying basically, it works. You put pressure on people, it works. So they don't care about the working guy. All they care about is the very rich. I'm jumping down to 16. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches. And that's the absolute truth. All right? They're oppressing the poor so that it increases in their riches. It said, he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. And that's your regular, the way the society is built upon is just consistently buying. You're not producing anything. You just consistently giving back to the same system that's oppressing you. So when they do things like this, what does that leave the people? That leaves the people with a couple options out. Follow what the very rich is doing, and you will survive, or try to do it on your own. And the way they have the minds of the people are in debt, all right? And they want to live the regular lifestyle that they've been living. And this is why everything is coming down to. It's coming down to the wire where people is going to flat out just worship Satan out openly. Matter of fact, what scripture I'm thinking? Oh, yeah. See if I can remember. The 5th chapter, Daniel's 5. Nope, no, maybe the 4th. Yeah, I'm gonna jump around this one. Daniel's 4 and 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king unto all people, nations, and languages, that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I thought it good to show the signs and wonders that the high God have wrought towards me. I'm sorry. Hold on. Thinking of the wrong scripture. Wrong scripture. Yes. Daniel's 3 and 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits and breadth. It says, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. And he set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes and governors and the captains and judges and treasuries and counselors, the sheriffs and all the rulers of the province to come to dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes and governors and captains, treasurers, counselors, the sheriffs and all the rulers of the province were gathered together into the dedication of the image of Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image of that Nebuchadnezzar set up. Then a herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, and harp, and sackbut, and the psaltery, demiser, and all the kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. And whoso falleth not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. So this was the options that was given. Either you worship this statue and give reverence to it, or you be burnt to death. And we coming down to that wire right now. We coming down to where everything is it's coming down to the wire. This is nothing. Technically, watching that particular show, and that show is just a reminiscent of the Hunger Games. It's just a sick game that the very elites wants to play around with anybody that's remaining. All right, because they think they're lords over everybody. They want everybody to worship that image. And what is that image today? Is their New World Order. That's why a lot of these people are accepting certain things, certain changes that they shouldn't accept. All right. Matter of fact, Revelations 13 and 15 to the point. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So it's coming down to either you with this program or you against Esau. That's what it's boiled down to. And that beast, that representation, is something of old. Nebuchadnezzar did it. Antiochus tried to accomplish it. Nimrod, he started it. And that's their New World Order system. All right? And then the New World Order system is a dystopia, which I'm going to read on and say, he calls of all but small and great, rich and poor, no middle class, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And even in that particular show, they had some type of scanner to check everybody. It's coming down to the wire. All right? It's coming down to the wire. Esau's technocratic advancement which is the fourth revolution, all right, which is really is the minds of the people to make people transhuman, all right. Once somebody becomes transhuman, they become what? Acceptable to any form of outside interference as long as their masters will it. So he's created a condition where there's nothing but a game for him. All right? And you people that decide to take part of his game, you're going to die. All right? You're going to die. You're going to die horrible deaths. Because he's going to brand you, mark you as his. And once he does that, Revelations 14 chapter takes in play. Where it says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Which is what we all know now is the 666. All right? Which is something that Esau loved to bring out. So, hey, we coming down to the wire, man. This thing is really coming down to the wire. James 2:6, I believe. But ye have despised the poor. Do not the rich man oppress you? Enjoy you before his judgment seats? And the key thing is the rich man oppresses. All right? Because he has the minds of the people. The whole premise of the show is these people that's in great debt. And the only way they could get out that debt is by putting their life on the line for some money. Which is kind of obvious because, maybe I said it in the show. But in this society, in order for you to get rich, you have to have some bodily harm to take place to you. So you could get a lawsuit. All right? Getting a lawsuit is like a golden ticket. Well, it used to be. You wanted to put your body on the line. Okay? Because there's no other way of getting out of poverty. And everybody's going to they're going to always try to find a way to get out of poverty. All right? What am I thinking? So, who's conducting all these wicked rituals and keeping the poor man down? The rich. And in this case, the so-called white man. All right? With nothing but time in his hand. Okay? So, yeah, he oppresses the poor. Because he's in his power of his hand. I'm going to just end it off on this. I didn't want to make this too long. Psalms 110. Let me see, 110. 10 and I believe it's 4. So chapters bad. I'm going to start at 1. Why standest thou afar, O Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in the time of trouble? The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. And then that's a fact. All right. Yeah, I use that particular show, but that shows you the mindset of the rich to make a sport of everyone. But who he really started it, who he mastered at. And that's what I was trying to look. You have the, picnic, which is to go out there and pick a nigga, barbecue a nigga. You know what I'm saying? These terminologies, these things were actual games that was being conducted. All right. Well, the most horrific thing in history was the Darby line, when they pretty much sold like a centipede, which there was a movie on that too, the human centipede too, and they feed the person in the front and sew somebody else into their assholes and pretty much let the person shit in each other's mouth. Some sick, disgusting shit. This devil got a lot to pay for, man. So yeah, he do persecute the poor. And he's getting more advanced in his little games. That's why you have movies like The Hunger Game. The Hunger Game is what they really want. Because there's going to be a lot of people that's still going to be surviving. So they're going to have to find a way to eliminate them. This man's a devil, man. It said, let them be taken in their devices that they have imagined. So, hey, David is like, look, let them be taken by their own devices. Because everything that they're doing is a snare and a trap onto their own head. Because it's going to come right back to them. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and bless the covetousness, whom the Lord abhorreth. How did he get everything? He stole every goddamn thing. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puff at them. He said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. And that's the pride of Esau. All right, like the scripture says in Psalm 72nd, he's not in trouble like other men. So pretty much, pride. He wears violence as a garment, and his pride is on time high. That's why he could feel like he could do anything. That's why he does everything in the form of entertainment, because that's what his heart desire. All right, everything that you see about a dystopia is his heart's desire. Verse 7, it says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in lurking places of the villages. In secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. And what is the main net? Poverty, famine. All right. He got people believing in his pestilence, so they go to them. So these are all nets and snares and traps that he has set to the people, so he could play that sick game. Oh wow, how could I forget that? I'm probably gonna end it off on this this particular video. Slakia. Something I saw. Oh man. Something I saw. Yeah, there it is.
Getting ready to fight COVID. All of us want to be superheroes. And the most important heroes are those that help others. This year, thousands of kids like us around the world joined the COVID-19 vaccine trial. Kid power. And when they did, they became all superheroes. To all the kids who volunteer, we'd like to say, thank you! Thank you!
And that's a snare, that's a trap. That's one of the snares and the traps that he has set up. We'll read that again. Verse 8. He sitteth in lurking places of the villages. In secret doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. And according to this society, children are innocent, right? So here it is now. He passed a law basically stating that from 5 to 11 can get that juice. And he's even having the children believing that they're heroes for doing this. See the mind fuckery with this man? All right. And that's many of other things. I just want to pick that random one. It had nothing to do with the Squid Game, but it has to do with the games that Esau plays. All right. This is all a game for him. And if you don't know that, there's something wrong with you. This is all a game for him and his cohorts. All his little team members, this is all a game for them. Putting your people's lives at risk for his cheap entertainment. He said he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. And how you catch the poor? I read it earlier. All right. You put them in a condition that they're in wants and needs. That's how you set the trap. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humble himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Boy, oh boy. That's why Sirach 12:10 says, never trust thy enemy. As iron rusted, so is it pretty much he stays the same. Though he crutches himself. I'm remember this is roughly paraphrasing, I'm not gonna get it. Though he humble himself, Gets in his 20s acting like he cares about your safety and so forth. This is all a game to this man. He just wants to destroy the masses of the people. He said in his heart, which is mine, the Most High forgotten, he have hidden his face, he will never see it. Arise, O Lord, O Yahweh, lift up thy hand, forget not the humble. Hey, the scripture says the meek shall inherit the earth. Alright? Not the very rich. Wherefore doeth the wicked contempt with the Most High? He have said in his heart, thou will not require it. That has seen it, or that has beheld this mischief, and spite to require it with thy hand. The poor committed himself unto thee. Thou art the helper of the fatherless. And the Most High is going to protect us when these times come. Because Esau has a lot of little tricks in his trinkets. And he's going to play these games to the fullest. He's going to sit back and watch, like the Squid Games, like the Hunger Games, you know what I'm saying? He's going to put men, hey, just like, how can we forget? The Colosseum, how they used to sacrifice the quote-unquote Christians. All right? They fed them to the lions. That was a form of a game. So this man, there's nothing new under the sun. He's going to do the same thing that he did before. If you don't worship his image, if you don't worship his ways, he's going to sacrifice many people, man. So with that being said, something real quick through the spirit. Shalom to the elect of the nations. Shalom.